Oh my god, guys. Oh, I just put out a video talking about this with GTA, but now Sony just came out with an announcement on their blog saying specifically new games released after January 2028 will be digital only. Of course, that's not taking into account pre-orders for just for game releases, and they mean everything, not just first party games, but even a third party, anything PlayStation upcoming next year digital only. Holy crap. So once again, first GTA and now Sony. This is actually really, really terrible. Not just for physical game collectors, but you have to understand, a lot of people are just going to be saying, oh, it's just the physical stuff, blah, blah, blah. It affects a lot of things. Even people who only buy digitally, we're going to be talking about this. But what does this mean? Specifically going forward in terms of game preservation and game ownership and game pricing and everything. There's a lot to cover here. So first of all, here's another quote here. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces disc. So that's true. I'm not going to deny that. This pretty much just means that kids growing up these days will only know this way of obtaining games, and they're not going to know the pros or benefits that come along with it. So I didn't make a video on this specific topic, but around last week, Sony, the same company, right? They announced that they're removing access to all bought movies on their stores. What? Now, we know that hey, that might not even be the best place to get media, right? Like, Xbox tried to do it when the Kinect came out. They called it the One, right? The Xbox One when that came out because they wanted to make it like a hub for everything. You got your TV there, your cable, you get your games, you get your streaming, everything like that. And PlayStation did a little bit of that by saying, "Hey, let's go ahead and have some digital stuff you guys can buy in our stores." Well, basically, they made it so you can't freaking, buy, so you can't access your movies anymore. It's going to be revoked. This means not only can they not even buy movies anymore, which is fine, right? But people who spent a lot of their money on there, they can't download it again after it's gone. And they'll be removing access even to play the movie on the PlayStation, barring any, non internet connected devices after that time, maybe. But basically, you don't own these movies. I would 100% say pirate or buy physically, especially for media on freaking consoles like this. So this the beginning of the end of a physical gaming media is here. Sony probably threw this announcement out because they felt safe because of GTA's publicity, and then they saw like, man, a lot of people are pre-ordering this. Like Sony already has their back end sales saying like, oh, 15% of people are, that makes up the physical media market, right? But, it's just insane, dude, because GTA just came out and they're like, "Okay, let's go ahead and do this." We were thinking about it already, but now we're seeing a lot of people are pre-ordering GTA, we gotta do this. It was always gonna go this way sooner or later, right? Less production on disc equals less leaks as well, and developers and publishers can control their games better. We talked all this out, when the GTA thing got announced, and we did a video on that. But there's a lot more things to talk about besides just that stuff. So what happens now, right? It's crazy that it just happened and now everyone's pushing towards this sort of future. So there's still a holdout on Xbox and Nintendo, but I do feel like Xbox will be the next and Nintendo a couple years after that. Nintendo just switched to semi game key cards, and so that's why they're probably not going to fully switch out 100% right away. They still got those semi key cards where you can still buy a physical, you can buy a physical box which has a physical cart in it, which you can't really replicate that little cart, and the license can be shared with a lot of other people. This might be right now the last of the newest console generations that we collect physically as a human species. So, does this mean 100% physical games are gone forever? I think after all the major players within the next couple of years move on, I think they'll still have special and collector's editions for physical disc and carts until even newer consoles come out that completely take away the way to read disc and carts, just like the PlayStation has. They have the two versions where you have the disc drive and then you have the non-disc drive. And in the future, Nintendo might do the same thing. So why even buy Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation in the next generation, right? Because they're gonna get even more expensive too. Just get a PC, people say, it's cheaper and all that stuff. I believe it's a easy age-old discussion. It's 100% better to always get a PC over a console, even if because it's like the prices are barely any different these days. But basically, I just want to say that the only reason to buy console games right now and in the future will be their advantages on their exclusive platform games, like the God of Wars and stuff like that. I haven't even been buying any Xbox consoles because they've been releasing a lot of their games via Xbox Game Pass or just the PC Microsoft Store in general, which is great. I commend them for that. But who knows how long that will last. I heard that they were trying to sell off a lot of their third party developers there. But personally, for me, I even though I love this stuff, I'm already semi-digital only. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm already there. I'm not stuck in the old ways. I do collect this stuff for nostalgia reasons when available. I don't freaking seek it out daily, and also for just fun completionist reasons. The only modern physical stuff I do buy these days in 2025, 2026, Switch 2 games. That's it. I just buy Switch 2 games. I never tried to collect PS4 disc, and I reluctantly got forced into digital already when the PS5 first launched, and I couldn't get my hands on the disc drive version, so I had to get the cheaper non-disc drive version. So I was like, screw it, I'm okay with it. I'm just gonna buy digital PS5 only. It just sucks that it's 100% going away in the future, but once again, I fully accept that. I'm not hating on that. Another thing we can also say is rip game stores. Rip game stores. Dude, if GameStop was thinking of having a comeback, then oh well, this is the final nail in the coffin. There's no more going to be walking into a Target, walking into a Best Buy, a Walmart, a mom and pop store, and going into the electronic game section. They might have stuff where you can buy like like they're still gonna have things where you can buy merchandise. You can buy maybe the consoles themselves, controllers, accessories, but you're not going to see stuff like, oh, buy this disc here or that cart here. But I'm going to say probably they're still going to sell, because like GTA's doing it. They're probably still going to sell the boxes, but then just like GTA, inside the box, there's going to be no manual, no anything. It's just going to be a slip of paper with your digital code on it. Which honestly, if you're gonna buy that for, let's say let's say that game was $59.99 in store, you buy it, you end up paying tax $65. What's the difference between getting that or going online and purchasing the same thing for the same price? It's crazy. So honestly, it's weird, but I would still get the boxes because guess what? It's something better than nothing. Also, I saw someone talk about this. It's a very, very small issue. Unfortunately, I'm not affected by this, but it is completely true. There's a lot of low internet, locations out there. Not everyone has access to these high internet speeds, infinite gigabyte upload, downloads, whatever. It'll take them forever to download games if not physically. So that's going to affect a lot of the people that are in the future. But, you could also say, hey, gaming is a much, much, a hobbyist thing. It's not needed. Spend your money on groceries, spend your money on education, on hospital bills and stuff like that, rather than, oh, I'm gonna buy this game. So it is a first world person problem. I do see that. But here's the one thing that truly pisses me off with this, right? So these companies, these developers, these publishers, they're saving a lot of money, right? By not printing their games. However, they could potentially revoke our access to download the games in the future. Once again, we saw this already. They already revoked movies from their damn store. Not that long ago, the Xbox Arcade shut down. The Nintendo DS shop, the Wii shop, they're shut down. You purchase those games. There's no way to ever get them in that specific way. You can always hack your stuff and buy and like download them illegally and stuff like that. But I'm saying officially, if you want to do that, you cannot. You don't own these games forever. Once you download it, the stores will shut down, or even worse, the licenses might expire during the game's relative lifespan. I mean, you guys, if you subscribe to any online stuff like Netflix, Disney Plus, and all that, you see lots of stuff rotating out. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be just like that. Games are just gonna be here and gone, and you paid for It's in whatever, man. So it's so crazy because they're still increasing the price on games and they're taking away the benefit of physical while we get no extra benefit except the benefit of easy digital access, but at what cost? So, a lot of people have lots of things to say about this, and my stance, hopefully, you understand my stance. I love collecting, but I'm semi digital. I only collect Switch 2. I collect this old stuff when available. I don't search out for it. Whenever it's presented to me, I'll buy it. But I'm completely okay in the future for getting only digital stuff. It's just, there's a lot of downsides to that. And I think specifically game preservation and us as consumers not 100% owning the stuff, it can get taken away at a moment's notice or in the future, because a lot of these games are very, very large in size now. Tons and tons of hundreds of gigabytes. People say you're gonna be, just back up your stuff, have a hard drive of everything. Well, once like the PlayStation, like this generation's done, maybe some stuff isn't backwards compatible. Maybe you purchased like 50 games that are exclusive and they're not going to be available on future PlayStation consoles for some reason. And the only way to get them is to have them physically in your fucking console. If they're like hundreds of gigs, you're not going to be able to hold all that on your storage. So that's another thing to think about is yeah, you can back up everything, but how? What's the best way to do it? You have just like like lots and lots of different sorts of PlayStation consoles that have A to B game, B to C game, C to D game on this one. Like it's so rough. And yeah, you can upload everything and just take it off the disc and put it straight to the PC. But how easy is it going to be, in the future when because people are already hacking the PS5 like to do homebrew stuff, to upload illegal copies and play them. Yeah, they can back up and preserve all that now. But in the future, once it's all digital, once they completely control their own ecosystem, it's going to be really hard to do that, and everything is going to be completely exclusive. So, game preservation, increased prices for less benefits for users, that's what's really annoying. And this is just the start of it. So, that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to talk about today. GTA, Sony, Xbox coming up soon. I think once again Nintendo is gonna be a while, but we'll see about that. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.